Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I have a video for you about Call of Duty WWII's numerous launch problems and failures. This was a video that I'm kind of sad that I have to make. I was hoping to just be able to kind of avoid it and not worry about it. And yeah, you know, in a couple of days there'll be a patch that comes out that fixes WWII and everything will be fine and dandy. But here we are 10 days after launch and it is not working. The gameplay you're going to get to see is from a couple of days back before the big patch when the servers are working better than they are now, which is strange for me. But anyway, I was trying to complete a daily challenge winning a game of CTF. I played really well with my grease gun. I leveled it up. I went on some really big killing sprees during this, looped my kill streaks a couple of times, but then the game crashed and I didn't get the order completion, which was very upsetting, which brings me back to the topic that WWII may have the worst launch of any Call of Duty title in history, and as of right now, as of me recording this video, as of you listening to it, I just about can't play this game. If instead of making this video this morning, I wanted to do something else, my experience would be this. Boot up Call of Duty WWII, go and screw around in a completely empty headquarters, because that feature is pretty much offline. I could stock up on some orders and some challenges, and they work now, but they haven't been working most of this week. Most of this week they've been down, sometimes they don't work, they're very inconsistent, but we'll just say that they work for today. Find a match. The match would be on a P2P host because all the dedicated servers are down, and even on a P2P host it lags more than it should. I have a NetDuma so I can inspect and it would be like, oh, you know, you got 40 milliseconds of ping on a peer host, so that's not bad, but it feels like a solid 150, 200. It does really strange things. I would win that match to complete my challenge, and then the game crashes. I get black screen, I get frozen, I get completely screwed up games, so then I have to hit the PlayStation button, go to my home, close the application, reboot the application, come back into my empty headquarters after rebooting the game, only to find that my completing the order by winning the game challenge didn't complete, but I didn't get any supply drop for leveling because you have to be in the lobby for that, and I didn't get any sort of bonus XP, and nothing really worked. And then I could repeat this process, and in the second game I could get stuck in the menu and not be able to change my guns after the post-game lobby loading, or have like 2 seconds to do it. Then maybe my third game I'd play again, and this time I would just get kicked off the online component of COD, so that's easy, you don't have to reboot the game, you can come back in. And then if I did the fourth game, maybe my whole console would crash at the end of the game. Hey, but at least I can play, right? Some people still can't connect, unfortunately. This is a hot mess, and my patience is slowly being drained. I'm getting really increasingly mad at it, and in the last 2 days, I've been playing more PUBG and Overwatch because at least I can connect to the servers. At least I don't have to do some crazy rebooting method every single time, or even when it doesn't make me reboot my game, it probably kicked somebody from my party, so they have to reboot and I have to wait on them anyway. It's like having a 10-minute delay between your matches. It's very annoying. And this would be acceptable on launch night. It wouldn't be ideal on launch night, or maybe a day or two after launch night, but launches of major games with this many people are always hard. It's always hectic. It's always crazy. There's a million people flooding into your game doing a million things they're not supposed to do. The server load is astounding. It's blowing everything up, but currently it's not launch night or launch weekend. We're plus 10 days past launch, and for the most part it's gotten worse, except for the fact that on launch night most people couldn't connect at all. At least most people are able to connect now, but it's not a good thing to connect to. The patch fixed some things, and for me it broke other things, so 50-50 on that one. So I have mixed feelings on the patch as well. Some improvements, some have slipped back. I don't know, it did something, I guess. As an example, last night I was playing on J-Hub's stream. I was trying to get some footage for In-Depth, and I crashed out of the game. I got an error code that pops up, and they're like, hey Drift, where are you? You're not in the party. And I'm like, oh, I'm in error code 3 or whatever. And Gerben says, what error code again? I memorized them all. And I'm like, error code 3? And he's like, oh, to fix error code 3, all you need to do, and he gave me the steps to get back on quickly. And I thought to myself, what in the world point have we come to when an average Call of Duty player can remember all of the different error codes and the fixes for each one to get you back online the quickest? That's not a good thing. And outside of these errors, I rather like playing Call of Duty World War II, despite the sort of vitriol you get on Twitter and r/World War II finding new things to hate on every hour. I think the base game is very well made. Well, maybe not having 9 multiplayer maps is not ideal. You know, more is better, especially when 2 of them are Gustav Cannon and London Docks. But the basic trainings minus the espionage are good in my opinion. The gun balance is good in my opinion. The way the game flows, the way it feels, the way you can get picks with the rifles, the way the SMGs rush. I like the shotguns. A lot of people complain about the shotguns. I do fantastic with them. I had a good time playing it on PC with Choco the Chocobo, and I've currently played 3 times more Call of Duty World War II than I have Infinite Warfare. Infinite Warfare, I'm like level 42, I think, and on World War II, I'm like Prestige 1 level 42. So there's a lot more playtime there. I've been doing a lot more, progressing a lot more, having a lot of fun with it. But I'm not going to be able to continue to play it unless we get some of these bugs fixed. Like, I've been playing it that much with these bugs, but I'm really starting to get sick of all the bugs and not being able to play. It's not fun to play when I have to reboot my game 2 out of every 3 games. And even when I am playing in these games, it lags like crazy. As a side note, even when the dedicated servers were up, not every game, but some games, really strange things happened with the in-game lag. I sit there and I watch it on my NetDuma and I test it and I ping servers and I know what I'm doing. So I'd like connect to a dedicated server in Dallas and my ping would be 9 milliseconds because I live in Dallas. But the game would feel more like an 80 to 100 millisecond ping, and some people would teleport and very strange things would happen. And then the next game I would connect to a dedicated server in like Chicago or something and have about a 25 millisecond ping and it'd run smooth as butter. So even when the deadies were up, there was something really weirdly inconsistent with the lag, or maybe lag compensation in the game. And that was very frustrating too. That can't go on forever. There's no reason for all 12 players, I was going to say 11, but no, I was thinking I was a player host, all 12 players to connect to a dedicated server and have it run so inconsistently, you know? As of yesterday, I have stopped getting footage for in-depth because it took me way too long and it was very frustrating to reboot my console all the time. Getting footage for in-depth is not a fast process. It takes a significant amount of time because I'm like, I need to get this gun, I need to try it with all these different attachments, I need to level it up, I need to use all these different scopes, I need to try it in different game modes, and I have to go through a lot of cycles and play a lot of classes that really aren't ideal, and it kind of murders my kill-death ratio, but that's whatever. But I stopped it because it's more like, okay, I'm going to play a game, and then I'm going to reboot my game, and then I'm going to play a game, and then I'm going to reboot my game. And I was spending not quite as much, but almost as much time screwing around with stuff in the menus as I was getting footage for in-depth, and it was driving me crazy. And since the dedicated servers are online, most of the games I do get into are very laggy, so the footage looks kind of weird. I'm always shooting people that are ice skating or not really able to fight back, or I'm blowing somebody up before the data really gets there, and it's not good representative footage of what Call of Duty should look like, and I'm kind of afraid my fans are going to call me out on it when they do see all the weird laggy footage. Don't worry though, I haven't quit in-depth, that's not a thing. I still have almost a week's worth of gameplay stocked up, so there are videos coming, but I'm not going to be recording very much new after those 4 or 5 are done, because I can't, because it drives me up a freaking wall to try to do that. And guys, I know this has been a very long, rambly, angry kind of video, but I'm just really frustrated, and I guess I'm just venting at the moment. But I do hope this gets better. I hope that in just like a day or two, praise God, that Sledgehammer will come down and patch this game and make it sane and make it reasonable. Please, please give me some relief. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.